Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is now episode 7 and we are just getting straight into this episode with a game against Derby, and this is the formation I decided to go for. As you can see, I'm sticking to the one up top formation and I decided to put Garner up front this time as it worked well in the last episode. Obviously we didn't get a good result against Spurs, but it did work well against Forest. But unfortunately we start the episode off with a bit of a downer really. Callum Woods goes off with an injury in only the 4th minute, and you can see here the injury. It doesn't actually look that bad, but then he just stays down, so that's really unfortunate that we have now lost him. We've actually got quite a few players out at the moment, but we do come back very well from this with a Joe Garner goal in the 19th minute. Humphrey did very well down the right hand side to getting the ball to Garner, and Garner managed to put it in to the back of the net. So Chris Humphrey is a player that's definitely, he's done very well so far this season. He's scored a couple of goals, got more than a couple of assists, I'm sure, and Joe Garner just slots it in past Lee Grant there. And this was a game that was full of goals. It was full of end-to-end action, and obviously Derby are a team that will be promotion contenders this season. And I wasn't expecting such an open game, but it was just that. It was a very open game and there were a lot of chances in it, and Derby comes straight back at us here with their player down the right, and they managed to just put it into the top corner. Really unfortunate there that we couldn't actually defend it that well, but our back four did seem to be a bit shaken with losing Woods so early on in the match. I had to put Tom Clark there at right back, who isn't a natural right back. His natural position is at centre back, and that's where I think he plays best. As you can see, he's out of position there when their player breaks through, and Sam Johnson, a bit disappointed with his dive there that he didn't get further over to the ball, but it was a very powerful header indeed from Chris Martin to put it into the back of the net against Sam Johnson. As you can see, Johnson's reflexes were a bit slow there, but what can you do in the end? So Derby just kept persisting with their chances. They have a corner here in the 30th minute. They whip it in well, and a bit of sloppy defending, but then Sam Johnson comes to the rescue and provides a good catch for us. And then in the second half now, Derby once again were pressing us hard, and they just managed to get through here, and eventually they put it into the back of the net. Really disappointing, and once again it was Chris Martin who put it into the back of the net, and he now had 2 against us, which was disappointing, considering we weren't 1-0 up and we conceded 2 goals just like that at home. As you can see, Sam Johnson did well, and then I think that might have been Tom Clark again, who just wasn't in position to win that header. Sam Johnson does his best to try and keep it out yet again, but he just can't get there in the end. He tries to claw it back there, but he's got no chance of keeping that out realistically. So that meant that we were 2-1 down, but then we do a fantastic move here. Garner and DJ linking up well. Daniel Johnson then puts it in through the goalkeeper's legs. Just watch this on the replay in a second. Some fantastic build-up play from us once again. It was Johnson that started the move, played it to Garner. Garner then through balls it to Johnson, and look at this shot. How cheeky was that to go through the goalkeeper's legs? Oh my days. Lee Grant is not the best goalkeeper in real life, and he's obviously not the best in FIFA either, to be conceding that. But then again, it was a fantastic goal from Daniel Johnson, and I'd probably say that's one of our best goals of this season so far. Daniel Johnson putting it in through the goalkeeper's legs, and that meant that we were level on 2-2. So from here we really did need to push on, but Derby just came back with a response. Bryson plays it into Ward. Ward finds Ince, and Ince finds the bottom corner. Really disappointing. Only 3 minutes as well after we'd scored our goal, they just came up the pitch and scored. It was almost like Derby had a switch in this game that when they needed to score, they could score, and it was really disappointing. Obviously, definitely disappointing to concede a goal to Tom Ince, but once again, our defence was just all over the shop today. I don't know what was going on, and Sam Johnson was left, stranded on his own, and Tom Ince was always going to find the back of the net there. So definitely disappointing with our defensive efforts this game, but there was still time to get back into it. Daniel Johnson plays it into Gallagher, but Lee Grant produces a save when it matters now. Really unfortunate that Gallagher couldn't finish this. Normally, I'd associate Gallagher with putting that in the bottom corner, but today just wasn't his day, which is really unfortunate because we really did need a goal there, and that was how that match eventually did end, which was really disappointing not to pick up any points at all, since we did score 2 goals. When you score 2 goals at home, you expect to win the match, which is really disappointing when you walk out with nothing. So we will now go into the next match, and also we will see how long Callum Woods is actually out injured. We do then get the email back about Callum Woods' injury, and unfortunately he is going to be out for 4 weeks, which is not what we wanted, and he will now join John Walsh on the injury list, which is not what we want at this point in the season. But going into the next game against Rotherham, this is the formation I decided to go for. I decided to switch it up a little bit, and I decided to put Beckford on the wing, as I wanted him and Garner to partner up front once again, and we just started really sloppily in this match. Rotherham just kept piling the pressure onto us, and honestly this was a match I wanted to get full points from, but they whip in the corner here, and the chances they create are just, I don't know how they didn't put any of these away. Sam Johnson makes a good save from the first attempt. Derbyshire manages to get it back in. They then hit the crossbar, and they come back, and somehow their player puts that wide. It was Broadfoot. I believe he was a former Blackpool player. He puts it wide, and I couldn't believe that. And then they just kept piling on the pressure, and then they put this shot wide. So that's 2 bullets that we dodged there. Connor Salmon just couldn't finish his shot there, and he put it into the side netting, as you'll see on the replay there. So we dodged 2 bullets, and in the first half we just created no chances. So we have to go into the second half to find our first chance here. Daniel Johnson feeds in Garner. Garner does well to take it off the defender. Garner then, he's the master at mustering up a chance from nothing really, and he does that there, and he just can't manage to get his audacious chip on target. It was a very cheeky attempt from Garner then to go for that, and it just went over the crossbar. Unlucky not to go in the end. But then we were, in the second half, we seemed to be full of confidence, and we seemed to be nothing like the team we were in the first half, and we did win a penalty. Jermaine Beckford fouled inside the box. It was definitely a penalty, and this is just what we needed. This is just the sort of thing we needed to break the deadlock, as going forward we'd struggled today. So Beckford absolutely wiped out. It was a definite penalty, and he managed to win that for Preston. So for some reason, I don't know why, but I decided to give this penalty to Gallagher. I don't know what was going through my mind at this point, and he does this, and the goalkeeper saves it, and I just couldn't believe it. I don't know why I gave it to Gallagher and not Garner. I just thought that I'd want to get Gallagher off the mark for the season and get his first goal, but that didn't happen, and the goalkeeper made a good save, which was eventually going to come back and have a backfire on us. But Beckford did very well on the wing today. As you can see, he cut inside well there and just hit the post. Unlucky not to break the deadlock yet again, Jermaine Beckford there. But eventually we were going to pay for missing all of those chances with Rotherham coming forward here. How we didn't manage to tackle him here, and what happened there with Sam Johnson and the defender falling over, I don't even know, and they were always going to put that into the bottom corner. Just absolutely horrific defending from us there. We had at least 5 opportunities to take the ball off their attacking player there, but we didn't do it for any of them. And just look at this replay. We've got players falling over. 2 players fell over in the build-up to that, and then the shot wasn't even that good. It went against Sam Johnson, who then sort of put it into the bottom corner himself. Very disappointing to concede that goal, and you can see our back four has just been, more disrupted by this Callum Woods injury, which is not helping. But we do then come back with this response. Chris Humphrey does very well on the wing, and he is fouled for the second penalty of today that we managed to win. Chris Humphrey did very well on the wing there to cut inside, and it was Broadfoot who brought him down, who gets a yellow card for that. And this time, there was no doubt in my mind who was going to take this. It had to be Garner. We needed a goal now, so I just had to give this penalty to Joe Garner. And Joe Garner made no mistake with the penalty. He just lashes it into the top corner and does very well there, and that meant that we were back on level terms with Rotherham. It reminded me of the penalty he took against Chesterfield in the playoff semi-final, where he just leathered it as hard as he could into the top corner, and the goalkeeper never stood a chance of saving that. So Joe Garner brought us back level 2-1-1, but we were still looking to win this match. It was still a match I was hoping to get 3 points from, but obviously with the late equaliser, that may not be a possibility anymore. As you can see, Joe Garner getting his 7th goal of the season. He has done very well. But then some disappointing news yet again. Chris Humphrey went down injured, which was not good news for us at all. He's another player that's going to join the injury list. This is the injury here. It doesn't actually look that bad, but then he just stays down. Just so frustrating that we're losing so many players at this point in time. So that was how that match did end. In the end, we did manage to draw 1-1. A bit disappointing, the 2 games in this episode. I was disappointed not to get anything against Derby, and I was disappointed not to take all 3 points from Rotherham, but we did get a draw in the end, and we dodged a bullet after we did miss that penalty. But we do then get the news back about Chris Humphrey, and he's going to be out for 8 weeks. I just can't believe we are having a bit of an injury crisis at the moment with John Welsh, Callum Woods, and Chris Humphrey all out injured. I just can't. I don't even know. We just have an injury crisis. So this is the league table as it currently stands, guys. As you can see, we are currently in 13th. So we're not doing too bad in that respect. We have 11 points. So we are, we're mid-table, and that's probably what I would expect from this team. So I will now show you the squad report. I'll do this every in-game month. I'll show you the squad report, see how players are growing, and show you players' forms and how much they're improving and things like that. And so I will leave it on that for the rest of this episode, guys. So thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, make sure you leave a like. Check out all the links in the description down below, and I will see you all in the next one.
Comes the music.
Boom, 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 boom. I'll shoot you right down. Boom, 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 boom. Ow, 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 ow. Boom, 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 boom. I'll shoot you right down. Boom, 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 boom.